Hello and welcome to the Buddha and the Coach vlog powered by Soul Performance Academy. I am your host, Dan Mickle. The Buddha and the Coach is a weekly vlog focused on looking at the teachings of the Buddha in a coached light. The Buddha and the Coach is proud to be sponsored by ICN Athletics. ICN Athletics makes the extraordinary ordinary through adaptive beach volleyball. Everyone should have the opportunity to enjoy and excel at this sport, and ICN offers the programs and education to make it normal for adapted athletes to play on any court. Help them make beach volleyball courts a place for everybody. For more information or to make a donation to the 501c3 corporation, please visit icnathletics.com and they'll see you in the sand. And again, thank you to everyone at It's Called Normal Athletics, John and Dave, and all the awesome work that they are doing there. We are proud to have them as a sponsor of this vlog and super stoked with all the great stuff that they are doing. All right, lesson number 14 this week is one moment can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change a world. This is probably one of my favorite lessons that we'll go over in this entire series. And mainly it's because I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in our coaching and what we're doing that we forget that the little things can actually make a huge difference. One small little change, one small little success can actually blossom into a much bigger tree of success. And I think we need to take the time a little bit more often and celebrate those little moments. Again, there's a lot going on, especially in competitive sports world where, you know, we celebrate the big points and the scores, but there might be those small victories, whether they're in practice, whether it's even outside of the athletic world. Maybe it's something academic that is helping one of your players. And those are all moments that we should recognize because those could be the catalyst for change. I think too often we're looking for the big spark or the big moment that's going to change our program or our team or, you know, the path that we're on. And a lot of times that spark is there. It's just really small and we don't notice it because we're thinking bigger and we're looking bigger. And we need to look at how that small moment can change the day, which can change the game, which can change a season, which could change a whole program, right? All these little things kind of have that reaction. And my challenge to you as a coach is, how are you celebrating those little moments? How are you recognizing them? How are you taking the time? And I think one of the things that we can do better as coaches is reflect on each day. A lot of us sit and plan out our practices, you know, our week, our month, even our season. But how many times do we actually go back and truly reflect on that day, that moment, even that drill or that scrimmage or that game that you're doing in practice? Again, we get so caught up with our checklist and what we're trying to do. Do we actually take the time to have reflection? Because anyone that's followed any of my other postings or my blogs or my podcasts know that for me, reflection is huge because that's actually where growth happens. If we don't take the time to have reflection on what we're doing, how we're training, what our results are, then we're never going to grow because we're not actually looking at those things. We're just seeing if it hit our checklist and move on to the next thing, or adding it to the next day because we didn't get to it. But do we actually sit down and take the time and say, okay, this is what really worked today, and this was the effort that we got, this is the track that we're on? And I think too many times we skip over that part. I get it. Life's busy as a coach. Most of us aren't coaching full time, so we have other jobs, we have family commitments, we have outside commitments. So we go through our practice and we go through that checklist. This is what I wanted to work on today. It was good, it was bad, you know, very vague and quick. And then we decide, well, do we need to work on it some more, or can we put that on the back burner and move something? But we don't really sit down and take the time and say, okay, this is what really worked. This is how it really went. What can we adjust? What did we learn? What worked well and that we can use in the future? And really, really reflect on those practices and really reflect on those games so that we can learn from them, so that we can grow from them instead of just checking off those marks in the box. And then we can look at, okay, well, how does this affect moving forward? Hey, this really worked for us. I'm going to incorporate this, and that could change your whole season. We've seen it in the extreme cases, right, where a player gets injured, a la Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe, and it literally changes the trajectory of a whole legacy, a whole dynasty of a program. Not just that season, not just that game. That really changed everything for the Patriots. And I think those moments happen a lot, albeit a much smaller instance, but happen a lot for us almost every day at practice. We have a moment and maybe we missed it, we weren't paying attention. So how do we become more mindful and more present in our practices and our matches and our trainings to make sure that we're catching all those moments that could literally change a life of a player, could change your life or the life of a program or a season? And then how can that change the world? It could literally have been one small thing that you did at practice that changes how a player looks at everything in their life, and now changes how they do things. They go on to become a doctor and do great things, right? It may sound ridiculous because that just seems like pie in the sky type dreaming, but those moments happen a lot. Those sparks happen all the time, and it's up to us to decide whether we're going to throw some kindling on it and make that fire, or if we're just going to ignore it and let it flame out. And again, it goes back to, I think that we have to have those moments and periods of reflection. Give yourself 30 minutes, 45 minutes after every practice where you reflect on the practice. Even if you have to get in your car and go to another appointment, take the time in your car, turn the radio down, and just reflect. Record your reflections. I use my phone recorder, or I actually have a digital recorder that I keep with me in my bag at all times just in case I have those aha moments. And I can't write them down because I'm driving or doing something else. I think too many times we get into practice, we go through practice, we pack it up and we're done. It was either a challenging practice, a long practice, or it was really good. So you feel like, oh, we hit everything that we need to, let's go for tomorrow, but you never reflect. And even in those good moments, there could be great moments. And are we missing the great moments because we're just looking for the good moments? So again, lesson 14, one moment can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change the world. Take the time to reflect. Look at all your moments, whether it's practice, scrimmage, games, teaching. Maybe it might be something as simple as replying to a parent or a student or an athlete email. But reflect every day and see if you catch those moments and what moments you can use to create that fire, to spark the change, or to help you get over that hump. Those mid-season, we're coming up in mid and end seasons, and it's getting a little tough for some players and some coaches. Take the time to reflect. So my challenge is tonight, your next practice or your next game, block off 30 minutes when you're done. When you're done tearing down, when you're done having meetings, if you have to do an interview for the school paper, the local news, when you're done with all that and you have a moment of solitude, take 30 minutes and just reflect on that practice or reflect on that game and look for those moments. What moments may have changed something or may have been that spark? Take the time to have reflection. All right, that's it for this week. Lesson 14 of Buddha and the Coach. One moment can change a day. One day can change a life. One life can change the world. Look for those sparks, everyone. Peach peace. And you'll also notice that I'm not big into editing, so I'm going to leave that in there because it's a growth. You get to see me in the raw form messing up. But peace, much love, don't suck, and I will see you all here next week for the next episode of Buddha and the Coach. And don't forget, check out soulperformanceacademy.com. Hit us up across all social media at 717soul. You can reach me directly across all social media at Real Dan Mickle. Like, share, hit that subscribe button, and let's spread the word and keep these conversations going. And feel free anytime to send us any questions, info at Soul Performance Academy. We would love to have some dialogue and discussions. Hit me up in the comments. Again, share this, show some love. And again, thanks to everyone at It's Called Normal Athletics, John and Dave and everyone, all the great stuff they're doing. Catch you next week.